What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Hey, I'm reading a lot of comments in the comment section as of late, both on my channel and other people's channels. And it brought me to the conclusion that a lot of people have various virtues, morals, and values in regards to disagreeing. And these variations are vast. There's a great difference between them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my standard. Now, I'm not saying you got to follow my standard, but the standard that I follow, or the ideology that I follow in terms of looking at disagreements. I made some notes here. So, first there's disagreeing based upon logic and reason, which is the sound methodology that every, man should be following. You hear a point, it's wrong, you disagree with it because it's wrong, and then you make a logical argument against whatever information was provided on someone's channel or out of their mouth. Then there's disagreeing based upon dislike. You just dislike this person for whatever reason, and therefore you automatically disagree with them, which is, well, it's very womanly, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's just foolishness. It's stupidity. Now, the first disagreement where you disagree, let me come back to this, actually, dislike and disagreeing. So if you dislike someone and you disagree with them just because you dislike them, well, then in my Abuamerican's humble opinion, you're an idiot, and you are at this point disregarded as a viable entity in terms of intellectual debate, conversation, taking knowledge from, gaining knowledge, whatever else, providing knowledge. You can neither provide nor learn in my book, and therefore you're a write-off. I'm just telling you this is my standard. So let's come back to the first one. Now, disagreeing based upon logic and reason can lead to dislike, because after a while, if a person is you're constantly dealing with someone and you're constantly disagreeing with them based upon logic and reason, what can happen is you come to the conclusion that this person is, one, either ignorant and he's speaking in ignorance, and therefore you start to dislike him for being an ignorant person and speaking ignorantly, or two, he's a dishonest person and he's speaking with lies and intentionally misleading people, and therefore you start to dislike him for his dishonest character. Either of those are acceptable. And at that point, if you no longer accept what that person says, even if he starts coming back to the truth because his track record is that of dishonesty or ignorance, then you are not at fault like the second person who just dislikes someone and disagrees with them just because he doesn't like them. He no longer pays attention to what the individual has to say. He just rules out what they say because he doesn't like them. So, I'm seeing a lot of people disliking other people, and then they just automatically disagree with them. And, man, I find that hard to respect. I'm kindly asking, it's a polite request, don't come on my channel doing that stuff, typing it in the comment section, and just, you don't like someone so you start disagreeing with them and all this other stuff. Logic and reason, bring it, show it. If you have proof and evidence, even better. Even if you have something which goes against proof and evidence, but it comes to like a logical conclusion, there's a logical line of reasoning that you can follow that brought us to your conclusion, I can accept that, even if it's patently wrong. I can say, okay, the man thought this through, because how many times have we looked at something, or how many times have we been taught something, and it's patently incorrect later on we come to find out. Sort of like red pilling women. Everything we taught about women was wrong. And they still pump out today all this information about women and how they think and how they are and what they believe and what they like and what they're attracted to. And they still pump this stuff. But because of red pill, we can logically come to the conclusion that everything society has taught us is incorrect. You might be on something and you might be ahead of your time. I don't know. I'm just giving people the benefit of the doubt. I can respect that if a person uses a logical foundation to build an argument and say, this is why I believe, or this is why I think, or this is why I hold this particular opinion or thought. That's acceptable. But, when a person is just being dishonest, disingenuous in some like foolishness, they're being pedantic or whatever else, they're lying, they're ignorant, then of course you can't respect that. And then I find it acceptable to cut that person off. But if you're the entire foundation of your disagreeing with a man or a woman or just any individual is based upon you disliking that person, that's a problem. And I think anyone who creates content on the internet comes to realize that people they're just going to dislike you. I don't know if whether what it is or why it is. Maybe they dislike you because you're doing something they don't have the guts to do because they're afraid of people being critical of what they do. I don't know. I think it's a type of jealousy, because one thing I've noticed is the most critical people on YouTube, on social media, are people who don't create content. When you go to the channels of the people who do the most criticizing of content creators, they're people who don't create content themselves. So it leads me to the conclusion and to the idea, or to the concept, now I'm building logically, that these people, they're just disagreeing because they can. Because if they had a logical reason to disagree with an individual on YouTube, a content creator, they would go and create content and say, I disagree with this person because this, and this. This is the whole basis behind the response reply videos, isn't it? I'm going to do a reply video unless you're agreeing with some. Sometimes we ping off each other. Like, sometimes I ping off Guy King. Sometimes I ping off the Negro Ninja. Sometimes I ping off Square Peg. These, or Turd Flinging Monkey or some other, some other guys. I'll do a video based off of something that I saw on one of their channels, Otherwise, like I did a video where I attacked content made by Black Pigeon Speaks. But I gave my reasons why, and logically. Yes, I was upset, but I still gave a logical conclusion and reason as to why I disagree with him. I haven't spent any more time on him after that, but you get the point. If you're not creating content to show why you disagree with a person, then what are you doing? You're just trying to tear someone down. That means you just disagree with that person because you dislike them. And what's the foundation of your dislike? This requires some introspection, Be introspective, guys. That's what we do as men. This is how we improve ourselves. Everybody's complaining, you guys only talk about women. You guys are only obsessed with women. No, this is introspection now. Now we're talking about self-improvement here. Improve yourself. Make yourself better. Question your motivation and your actions as to why you do certain things. This is to all those haters out there. To that one person out there who hits the dislike on my video every single time. There's no way you could have watched the entire video. So there's no way you can dislike my videos. You just go on, dislike, that's it. I'm quite sure that's why you do it. Thank you for driving up my view counts. But nonetheless, if you have a reason to dislike something, any content creator says, myself included, bring it. I want to see it. That's why I say leave comments, questions, whatever else in the comment section. Go ahead and give me a response. Tell me what you think. That's why I say that. Anyway, 8 minutes too long. This is your man Abuamerican. Catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All at Abuamerican. I am out.